The Harris campaign refused to allow a Palestinian American to take the stage. There were private negotiations that were going on throughout the week. But at a news conference on Thursday, delegates with the Uncommitted Movement said the Democratic National Committee told them it was the Harris campaign that denied their request to have a Palestinian American speak. After receiving the news on Wednesday, many of the delegates and their allies staged a sit-in and spent the night on the sidewalk just outside the United Center.
In state Democratic primaries earlier this year to call for an end to the Biden administration's backing of Israel in its assault on Gaza and for an arms embargo. The Uncommitted National Movement called on Harris to come to Michigan, where the Uncommitted Movement was launched, to meet with them and discuss U.S. policy on Israel-Palestine by September 15th.
Among those who spoke at the press conference yesterday was Ruwa Romman, a Palestinian American who is a Georgia state representative in the Georgia legislature. She was among a list of speakers offered by the Uncommitted Movement that the Harris campaign refused to allow on stage. In her remarks, she read out the speech that she would have given at the convention had the convention allowed a Palestinian American on stage. This is Ruwa Romman.
So what I'm about to read to you is frankly very sanitized. It was meant to have an opportunity to represent a Palestinian voice, but I'm incredibly dismayed because we came here to offer a gift. We came here to offer an opportunity to bridge the gap between our party and our voters. Because when you looked around that convention, everybody, you literally looked around, so many people wearing their pins, their kufiyas, their flags. It's very unfortunate. My name is Ruwa Romman, and I'm honored to be the first Palestinian elected to public office in the great state of Georgia.
That's right.
And the first Palestinian to ever speak at the Democratic National Convention. My story begins in a small village near Jerusalem called Suba, where my dad's family is from. My mom's roots trace back to Al-Khalil or Hebron. My parents, born in Jordan, brought us to Georgia when I was 8, where I now live with my wonderful husband and our sweet pets. Growing up, my grandfather and I shared a special bond. He was my partner in chief. Whether it was sneaking me sweets from a bodega or slipping me a 20 into my pocket with that familiar wink and a smile. He was my rock, but he passed away a few years ago, never seeing Suba or any part of Palestine again. Not a day goes by that I don't miss him. This past year has been especially hard as we've been moral witnesses to the massacres in Gaza. I've thought of him, wondering if this was the pain he knew too well. When we watch Palestinians displaced from one end of the Gaza Strip to the other, I wanted to ask him, how did he find the strength to walk all of those miles decades ago and leave everything behind? But in this pain, I've also witnessed something profound. A beautiful, multi-faith, multi-racial, and multi-generational coalition rising from despair within our Democratic Party. For 320 days, we've stood together demanding to enforce our laws on friend and foe alike to reach a ceasefire and the killing of Palestinians, free all the Israeli and Palestinian hostages, and to begin the difficult work of building a path to collective peace and safety. That's why we are here. Members of this Democratic Party committed to equal rights and dignity for all. What we do here echoes around the world. They'll say this is how it's always been, that nothing can change. But remember, Fannie Lou Hamer shunned for her courage, yet she paved the way for an integrated Democratic Party. Her legacy lives on, and it's her example we follow. But we can't do it alone. This historic moment is full of promise, but only if we stand together. Our party's greatest strength has always been our ability to unite. Some see that as a weakness, but it's time we flex that strength. Let's commit to each other to electing Vice President Harris and defeating Donald Trump, who uses my identity as a Palestinian as a slur. Let's fight for the policies long overdue, from restoring access to abortions, to ensuring a living wage, to demanding an end to reckless war and a ceasefire in Gaza. To those who doubt us, to the cynics and the naysayers, I say yes, we can. Yes, we can be a Democratic Party that prioritizes funding our schools and hospitals, not for endless wars.
That's right.
That fights for an America that belongs to all of us, black, brown, and white, Jews and Palestinians, all of us, like my grandfather taught me, together.
That was Ruwa Romman, a Palestinian American who is a Georgia state representative, reading the speech she would have given had the Harris campaign allowed a Palestinian American to speak on stage.